Happy Sunday, y'all. I had some things that I wanted to talk about, so I decided to do a quick video to share some stuff. So, one, I love how y'all are in my DMs and sending me messages and not quite posting on the group, although you could, but you guys are definitely sending me messages to let me know what you think about what I'm saying, what you're learning, what you're doing, how you're facing your finances. I love those messages, they're great, so keep them coming. Feel free to post that stuff in our group too so that other people will know what you're doing, what you've learned, what you're up to as far as your finances is concerned. So that's awesome. Thank you. Keep them coming. One of the things that I am hearing about is my take on insurance. I didn't realize that it was quite so controversial that I think whole life insurance is a hustle. But apparently that's one of my more controversial ideas. So let me explain it a little more so that maybe I can give some clarity to it. This whole face your finances thing is about being mindful about what you're doing with your money. It is not necessarily a plan for you, it is not necessarily advice for you, but I am trying to get you to think about exactly what your money is doing and what you think it's going to be doing. So, how does that apply to insurance? Right. So, a lot of us buy or have bought in life insurance because someone told us somewhere around along the way that it was what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to buy life insurance. And that is a true statement. You should have life insurance. But you really do need to take a minute and think about what life insurance is supposed to do and then all the other things that it is supposed to do, right? So life insurance is supposed to replace income slash the life or the monetary contribution of a life, right? So if you're buying life insurance because it is replacing someone's income, that makes sense. I also hear sometimes that people say they're using life insurance so that they can bury someone. For example, when the life insurance pays out, you use that money to handle funeral arrangements. And I guess that makes sense, assuming you had no other savings. But what I'm trying to get us to is the part where we have other savings, we have other ways to do that. Because if you're telling me that you're using life insurance as a savings account, that's not the best savings account. It's not the best use of your money. And so when you think of life insurance, I really do want you to think about it in terms of replacing the income of someone whose livelihood is making you be able to live. So pay the mortgage, pay the bills, send the kids to college. If there's someone whose income is being used for those things, they need life insurance. There should be life insurance to cover that. Term life insurance assumes that you're only going to need to replace that income for a certain period of time. For example, term life insurance might be 20 years. So it's going to cover the death of someone for up to 20 years. Well, after 20 years, it makes the assumption that whoever is being covered, that person's income is not as critical to the family anymore. So if you are a parent and you have 20-year life insurance, it is making the assumption, or 20-year term life insurance, it is making the assumption that after 20 years, your child will not need your income to be able to live their lives. I think that's a fair assessment of what life insurance is supposed to do. It's not supposed to cover the entire duration of someone's life. It's supposed to cover the period of time where that person's income is necessary for these people to live. Now, let's talk about a husband and a wife. Maybe one person works and one person doesn't, or one person is earning significantly more than another person, then maybe in that case you would need longer term life insurance. But let's keep in mind that whole life insurance, if you stop paying that for any reason whatsoever, it has no value. Now, that's the same thing for term. You could stop, but in term, you've paid much less into it, so it wouldn't be such a hit. Also, people tell me that they are selecting whole life because you can borrow against it or because it has a cash value. And that goes to that mindless things that we do because someone told us to do it. Under what circumstances would you be borrowing against a life insurance policy? Under what circumstances would that be the best loan that you could achieve or have for a purpose? Is it for to send somebody to college? You would use your life insurance loan for that. Or this cash value idea. Under what circumstances do you get the cash? How much do you have to pay into it? At what point are you able to cash out? What percentage of it is available to you immediately as compared to what percentage of it you have to pay for 20 years to get a particular amount of cash value? These are things that if you have a whole life insurance policy, I just want you to ask the question. Ask what the fees are associated with that whole life policy. Ask what happens if you stop paying the premium. What happens to the cash that you've already put in? Do you get to cash out at that moment? Can you get any cash from it? Ask what the fees are if you wanted to borrow against it and under what circumstances you could borrow against it. This is not to say that whole life insurance is all a scam, even though I think it is. This is to get you to ask some questions about what you're doing with it, because I will die on the hill that term life insurance is what we all need. Now, maybe you need multiple terms, that may be so, but I will die on that hill. However, if you are loving your whole life policy, then I just want you to go ask some questions about it. Ask what value it has right now. Ask what happens if you stop paying it right now. Ask about the loan. Ask all the questions, because I think you'll find out that it doesn't have the value you thought it was. Furthermore, I think you'll find out that if you were using those premiums, say you're sending $200 a month, if you were putting that $200 a month in your 401k or in a regular brokerage account, you would do better than sending it to the whole life insurance policy guy. But that's just my thought on that. So how do you reach me? On Facebook, there's an Empower Financial Facebook group. You can send a message there. And on Instagram, I am Empowerment Source. So send me a message. Let me know you're interested. We can get you in a group, or you could just chat with me online. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.